Hello everyone and welcome to today's session. My name is Abby and I'm going to be your host for this morning. So today we're going to be covering on how to use filters and quick searches throughout the software to make it easier to analyze your data. Now, it is just myself on this morning's session, so I will be hosting and I will be answering questions. So please do bear with me on that one. I will try my best to answer them live on the session. If I'm unable to answer them, what I will do is I will pick them up after the session and I will email you directly. So don't hesitate to get your questions across as they will be answered at some point. Now, today's session is booked out for around 30 minutes or so, and that's just depending on if we have any outstanding questions at the end. If we don't, we will look to end the session sooner, so you may get some time back today. Just before we start the session, I just want to cover some housekeeping. So what you will see is that when you join, you will be placed on mute automatically. If you wish to ask any questions, you can use the questions panel down the right-hand side, and that's just the speech bubble icon with the question mark in the middle. So if you click on that down the right-hand side of your screen, it will then open up that questions panel. And then at the very bottom, you'll see that little white box that says ask the staff a question. Pop your question there for me and click the blue send button, and that will come through to myself. We do also have a handout for today. You can download this by clicking on the button just below the speech icon there, and it just looks like a little document with the folded corner. I do recommend downloading this as it does have some helpful links to our help centre as well. Just a reminder, this webinar is going to be recorded just like every session and will be included in your follow-up email. So you usually get those emails around an hour after the session has ended, and it's also going to include links to webinar recordings and also links to future webinars that you can get registered for as well. Now, I'm going to come back to that towards the end of the session as we have got some really interesting topics coming up for you to get registered for as well. So again, we'll revisit that towards the end of the session. Okay, so what's going to be covered in today's webinar? So we're going to introduce the filters in quick search. What are the benefits? Where can you find these options throughout the software? And what we're going to do is we're going to demonstrate that within the software, how you can use different filters and things like that. We'll then come back to the slides toward the end of the session, and then I'll talk about how you can get extra support on our help centre and other webinars that we've got coming up. In particular, we do have a new badging event coming up in April as well. So let's get stuck in with the introduction. So in Sage 50 accounts, using filters and quick search functionality provides several benefits to enhance your efficiency, and it helps streamline your workflow. So you've got the ability to track financial information. So it might be that you want to use filters such as like hiding zero balances, so that you can you can only see the customers or suppliers where there is a remaining balance. It will help you improve your decision making because you've got less information to look at in the screen. You've reduced that down, and it's a lot. It makes you be able to work a little bit more efficiently as well. You've also got the ability to locate data quicker, identify specific records, but you can also run reports on the filtered data as well. Now, this is great if you just want to run reports on that specific data that you filtered down, but also remember to remove those filters as well, as some reports you might run and it might not run those reports or might not find any data to report because you've got a filter on still applied within your software. So just be mindful of that if you're going to use that option. Just remember, if it's showing no data on some reports, maybe check you've got a filter on there as well. So you might be wondering, well, what can I filter? So you can filter records, so that could be your customers, your suppliers. You could filter your invoices, your credit notes, You've got your sales orders and things like that, products, transactions, projects, departments. You know, also as well, some of you may not know if you haven't attended our custom field session. We do have, you can now add custom fields to your records. This has been in the software for quite a while now, where you can enhance your filtering and reporting experience. So those custom fields, it enables you to, you know, include additional data fields that are relevant to the company's operations. So we're going to go through it shortly, but you might want to add in regions by your customers. You might want to add in customer types or supplier types, or you know, what you apply to your customers. I'm going to show you it applies to you know, the same steps apply to your suppliers as well. You can apply cost centers, but what it does is it provides a more comprehensive reporting and analysis capabilities. So it just gives you that little bit of customization to add in, you know, something specific to your company, bit of customization. So where can you find this? These, you know, filters and quick search options. So it's in all standard modules, excluding bank accounts. So you won't find it in your bank accounts module, but you will find it in pretty much all other areas of the software. You've also got as well, something you might not be aware of, is you can also filter if you use the Chase Debt view or your Manage Payments view for your suppliers. Now, just be mindful as well, these options are not available if you are in the Essentials variant of the software. So you will only see this if you are in Standard or Professional. But what we'll do is we'll get stuck straight in with the demonstration. So I'm just going to pop over to my software. And what we'll do is we'll start by going straight into the customer record. We'll pop into customers. You can see I've got a list of my customers here. So we'll just start with what I'll briefly mention is just the Chase Debt view if you're looking for it, if you are in Standard or Professional variant, is you'll find the Chase Debt option in your customers along the top here, in the top right. And you can see it's got a slightly different view. It does look very similar to the standard, but you know, there is a guide that I've provided on the handout where we do specific webinars for the Chase Debt view as well. Pop back to standard, you just change to standard. And the same for suppliers. In the top right, you've got Manage Payments, which is the option I've got on at the moment. But you can pop the standard there, and you can see you've got the filter option in here. They've also got some preset filters within this area as well. But again, we do have dedicated sessions to these particular areas if you do want to check those out on our recordings page. So we'll just pop back to customers. And one of the things I mentioned where you could filter is, you know, you might want to see customers where, you know, only records where they have a balance rather than the ones where they have a zero balance as well. So you pop into filter along the top here. And this is where you get your filter wizard. So you can use the options here if you're confident with picking the options from the list. So you've got a drop down here. Or there is a wizard option along the top, which will just walk you through those steps a little bit easier if you find that you feel more comfortable using that option. But we're going to do, we're just going to use this method here. So we're going to do where, and we're going to find balance. Our condition is not equal to, because what we want to do is we want to hide those with a zero balance. So we're going to say is not equal to. We'll click apply. And then if we just close this window down, you can see I've now went from 30 records down to 24. So then you can see there, I've got all of those customer records where they have a balance. So that'll just help you analyze, you know, well, who is there someone I need to chase? You know, especially these ones in red, we often get questioned, you know, well, why are these customers in red? Well, it's because they're, you know, they've surpassed their credit limit. So, you know, this might help you analyze, well, who do I need to chase? Who do I need to monitor? who's close to their credit limit, that sort of thing. What I said before as well, you can run reports when you filtered as well. So it might be that you want to run a statement on these filtered customers. You might want to run, for example, customer activity. We'll just run let's have a quick look, just a summary one. So if you click preview, we'll just do it, keep the options as they are for now. What that'll do is that will just run them based on what is shown in your filter. So that'll help you, maybe report a bit quicker as well, in terms of you're not running a customer activity report for all of your customers in that list. You might want to just run them specifically for that filter that you've got applied. To remove that filter, simply click back on filter and you can click clear form. And then what that will do is that will clear the filter. When you click apply, it will just return back to its normal list. But you can also save these saved filters. So if you have quite a lengthy one, because you might want to add more lines. So you just click underneath, and it could be and or, and then you can then add another line. So it might be customers without a zero balance. And for example, we'll do, let's have a think. We'll do type of customer is equal to, and then we'll just call this cash. And I'm going to come more into this as well, because this is actually a custom field that I have. It's not changing at the moment, but what you can do is, as you can see, you can add multiple lines as much as you want. So if you have regular filters that you like to apply, you can save them. And it's a bit like if you're used to memorize and recall, you can then recall that filter and then just saves you having to pop it in every single time. So we'll just clear form on that one. We'll click apply, and you can see now it's now returned back to that list of all 30. Now I've just talked about a custom field where I might have them set with certain customer types. So for example, I'll just pop in my custom field. So I have customer types. So you can see I've got public, I've got trade customer types, and this is what I've actually entered in that's specific to my business. So you might not necessarily have this set up. So what I'll do is I'll show you where you can add in your custom fields as well. So you pop to settings along the top, pop into configuration. Within configuration, you'll then see a tab for custom fields. So I'm just going to briefly cover this because we do have a full in-depth session on our help center. But this is where you can come in and add in custom fields that actually can be, so they'll be added to all records. So it's not specific where you might want to have certain analysis fields applied to certain customer records or supplier records. It will show on all of the records, but whether you pop something in that box on the record that I'm going to show you shortly is entirely up to you. So again, these are just some examples that we've used. So it might have customer type, rep, you might have region. So I've got mine based by Northeast, West Midlands, Southeast, that sort of thing. So you might want to split up your customer records by that. Now in, I believe it was version 29, off the top of my head, we have since added an extra 3. So you should have 6 in total for your customers and 6 in total for your for your suppliers. If you only see 3, it might be that you may be on a lower version where they have not yet been introduced. On the right, you've also got your quotations, your sales orders, your invoices, where you can pop these in as well. So you can also filter by these custom fields as well, and you can also add them into reports and documents. Now I'm not going to cover that on today's session because it is just a shorter session, but again, you'll find all of our recordings where we've covered this before. What I'll do is I will also show you towards the end of the session, I'll pop onto the Help Centre and just show you where you can find all of these extra tips. You can also pop these onto products as well. So you can see you've got custom fields for your products in the Products tab. So if we pop into, what we'll do is we'll pop into Customers. And what I'll do is I'll show you how you filter by your custom fields. So we'll pop back into Customers. We'll pop back into Filter. You can see I'm starting with a blank filter again. We'll click Where. But this time we're going to look for region because that is one of my custom fields. And I'm just going to put condition is equal to this time. And then I'm just going to pop in here, Northeast. If I click apply, you can now see in the background I've went from 30 records down to 7. So I'll close that down. You can now see it's only showing me customers that have the region Northeast, and because that's a custom field that I've added in. If you've got set up custom fields but you don't see them within this screen, in your main screen, it could be that you just need to add it to your list. So click any header, right click on your mouse, you're going to be brought up with the long list. And then you need to just find, I've only got a small screen for this one, so you might see them all, but I just need to scroll down. And you can see here, I've got customer type, I've got the rep, that's not ticked, but I've got region. And then you can see I've got 4, 5, and 6, which I've not yet named, but they do still show in that list. So where do you find these to pop in that information? We'll just pop into the record. You pop into the Defaults tab, and you can see here, custom fields. So you've got your customer type, your rep, and then your region. You've got the Northeast popped into there as well. So that is how you can filter the customers, how you can filter via the custom fields. We'll pop into invoices and credits. Because as you can see, you've also got the filter here. Obviously, you've got your search bar where if you know what you need to type in, you can just pop that in, and that will one way of searching. But you've also got this filter option throughout, so you can see throughout the software, it appears in the same place. Apart from bank accounts, as you can see, we don't have that option. Before we move into the invoices and credits, I just want you as well, I've showed you the custom fields. Could you pop in the chat for me? Any ideas of what you might use it for? If you do use it, could you just give me examples as well? Because we always like to use real life examples, and you might be using it differently to how I've used it. So if you get the chance, pop that in the chat for me. Let me know what you use the custom fields for if you are already using them, or what you plan to use them for. Now in invoices, just while I wait for some answers to come through. In invoices, it might be that you want to filter by invoice date. So it might be, click on the filter. We'll click where. We'll look for invoice date. This time we're going to use the drop down. And I'm actually going to do is greater than or equal to. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop in the 1st of the 1st, 2024. So what that's actually going to do is it's going to show me anything on that date or anything after that date, because we've set it to is greater than or equal to. So we'll click apply. And you can see now I've went from 85 records down to 7. So you can see there, those are all the transactions that I've done since the 1st of January last year. So it's entirely you how you use this. There's plenty of options when you go into filter for you to clear the form. and you can see there's plenty of things in there that you can filter through. And you can also as well use the custom fields for your custom analysis fields as well. So you can also filter via here. Now, it doesn't change within invoices, unfortunately, it doesn't change the name of what you change the label to. So for example, if I change it to region, within invoices and credits, it doesn't change them. So you will just need to know whether it's 1, 2, or 3. Where to pop that information in on your invoices. We'll just open up an invoice, and it's in the order tab. So we'll pop into order, and you can see here I have got my analysis 1 set as sales rep. When you filter, it doesn't appear with the name like it does in customers or suppliers. So you do just need to remember which one is your custom fields. So we've got sales rep in there. So then I can pop in the details in there. So we'll pop in my name, and we'll save the record. So then if I do filter where, and we'll use analysis 1 because I know that's a sales rep, I can do that and I can put my name in, and it'll bring up that one invoice because you can see I've got it added in here. If I want to search by someone else, I know I've got one in there for Joe Blogs. It's got to be exact. You can see there I've got Joe Blogs, and I've brought up a different invoice. So you can actually filter by this way as well. So we'll just clear that form. So we bring all of those records back. So just remember as well, you don't always have to clear the form. I'll quickly pop that back on so I can show you as well. So we'll just do analysis 1. I'll just pop my name in there. What you can actually do is you've actually got this button here to the left where it temporarily toggles the filter on and off. So if you want to quickly flick back to all records, but then you want to pop the filter back on, you can use that option there as well. So it just temporarily disables that filter. You might want to look at something else, then you can toggle it back on if that's a filter that you use quite regularly. But again, just to clear it, pop into filter and then click clear form, click apply, and it will bring those records back for you. Just a comment there from Sue. This is really useful. We currently use departments to record sales to our sales teams. It would be more logical to use a custom field than leave the departments for other classification. So fantastic way, examples where that's going to actually help someone analyze their data a lot quicker. I'll just pop into products, and I'll just show you again a different way that you can filter in some areas of the software. So we'll pop into products and services. As you can see, I've actually got a filter on at the moment. So toggle that off. We'll pop into filter. And what I've actually got in here is where I want to see where I've got products where I have nothing in stock. So at the moment, I've got all my records selected. So if I click apply, you can see it's then filtered it down to 31 of 105, where it's showing me all the products that I've got where I've got 0 stock quantity. So that's, like I say, also another way that you can use, really helpful way to analyze your data as well. And again, various reports this will work with as well. Just a case of trying which reports work for you. Now, I know Sue's just asked the question there about wildcards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop back to my slides for a brief moment. And I'm just going to quickly talk you through the wildcards option. So if you've ever heard of the wildcards, so this is basically a way that you can make your quick search and filter options more dynamic to find what you need even faster. So you can apply these wildcards into your search box, or you can apply it into your filter box as well. So you've got the asterisks. So this represents any number of valid characters, including spaces. So position is important on this. So for example, it might be that you want to find, on the right hand side, you've got WE asterisk 001. So what that will do is then that will look through your data for example, if we're in customers again, it will look for anything where it's got the WE 001 and then any character in where the asterisk appears. So then, as you can see in those examples, I will show you in the software in just a moment so you can see it in action. You've then got the $sign. So this represents a specific line of text anywhere in the data. So again, the example on the right, we've got the $sign, then WE. So this will be where basically anything where the WE appears. So that could be start, middle, end. So it doesn't matter where it is, as long as the W and E is together, it will search for that. Now this doesn't just apply, these wildcards don't just apply necessarily to just account names. If you're using the quick search box where you're free typing in there, if you're looking for account reference using the filters and you use these wildcards, then it is then going to look specifically for account references. And then lastly, we've got the question mark. So the question mark represents a single character. Again, like the asterisk, position is important. So what we'll do is we'll pop over to the software and I'll just quickly show you what this looks like in action. So like I mentioned, if we're just going to do filters, for example, so we'll do a filter where we'll go by account, we'll do account reference is equal to, and then what we'll do is we will do the, let's have a look, we'll try to think of a one that we could do where it's going to bring up quite a few. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll do the $sign, and this is where it represents a specific line of text anywhere in the data. So we're going to look for $sign and anything that has ST. So what that's then done is, I'll keep that on the screen so you can see, but what it's done is it's gone by account reference, and that what it's done is it's looked for anything where there's an ST together in the list. So it's got the ST at the start, but you can also see this first one here, it's got ST in the middle as well. What I have done is on the handout is I have provided a link to the guide where that will tell you exactly how the wildcards work, but it also includes some videos as well. Just a question there from Sue, are the wildcards for value or does it always have to be entered in full? So let's try value. So let's have a look. So we'll do balance is equal to, I'm not sure if it'll let me do the wildcards with like numeric value, but let's give it a try. So no, it won't let me pop anything in there. So it is going to be just characters rather than numeric value. So it won't work with balances. It might work. I doubt it. If it might work if we'll try it in the quick search. So for example, let's try $sign and then let's try 14. So this, the problem with using the quick search is it doesn't necessarily look for just specific to balances or anything. It'll just look for anywhere where there's a 1-4 together. So for example, here we've got a 1-4 in the telephone box. So it is just looking for numbers where you've got a 1-4 together, not specific to the balance. Hope that helps there, Sue. Okay, so we'll pop back to the slides. Just while I wait for any further questions to come through, It's going to cover some upcoming webinars. So we have got the management reports badge coming in April. So these prove quite popular when we do the digital badges, where you can pop them onto your email signature, share them on social media, share them with your colleagues, your suppliers, your customers, so that you're more efficient in your 50 account software. If you do wish to register for that badging session, those badging sessions, should I say, then you can visit sage.co.uk/webinars. Another webinar that we're covering as well is the getting started with Copilot. So you may have heard us talk a little bit about this in the past couple of months, where we're introducing Copilot into our Sage 50 accounts software. So this is a demonstration on how Copilot works and how it can help you with your managing your debt, your stock, monitoring business performance, improving data accuracy, and also reporting on analysis as well. So if you wish to get registered for that session, you can click that register now on your handout. Alternatively, I will quickly show you how to get registered for those sessions. So if you pop to the help centre, sage.co.uk/help, alternatively sage.co.uk/webinars. We'll pop into the webinars section along the top. Here is where you can get started with the Copilot session. We want to get registered for those. We've got the various dates. So we've got starting on the 27th and then dates throughout April. Management badge, you can get registered here. So this is where you've got to attend at least 5 of the 6 topics plus a quiz session to be able to earn your digital badge. We have got other sessions throughout March as well if you want to check out those. We do have the Chase Debt View session coming up. We've got recordings, but if you wish to attend one of those sessions, we do have one on the 21st. That's on Friday. If you want to have a look on how you can add in your custom fields to your documents, if you pop into view previous recordings, and then if we pop down to the reporting design section even, we do have various ones where you can add in custom fields or different sections as well. Okay, so just before we wrap up, one more thing I want to mention is we do now offer one-to-one bespoke training options. So if you wish to inquire about bespoke training on your 50 account software, so that can include stock control, CIS, banking, debtors and creditors. If you're looking to upgrade your variant from essentials or standard up to the highest level, which is professional, we can also demonstrate what those features are in professional and how they may benefit you as well. If you want a personalised quote, you can email us on the email address that's on the handout there as well. Okay, so that brings us to the end of today's session. Please feel free to stay around for the next 30 seconds to a minute if you have any further questions to ask. There's nothing outstanding at the moment. If you've got what you need today and you want to leave the session, you will receive an email in around an hour or so with links to both our webinar schedule and today's recorded session for you to refer back to if needs be. Upon exiting the session, you will see a survey at the end. If you could please let me know on any feedback on today's session, what you liked, what you enjoyed, what you found beneficial, but also as well, is there anything you would like me to have done differently? I do read every single comment, so would really appreciate if you could pop a comment on there. Okay, so there's no further questions that have come through. So what I'll do is I'll wrap this session up. I want to say thank you to you all for your participation today. And just a reminder, we've got plenty of sessions over the next couple of weeks, so don't be shy and get registered. So I want to say another thank you and take care.